Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy our national anthem and alma mater by the Parsippany High School Choir, under the direction of Miss Christine Wilson, and accompanied by the PHS Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Greg Delakian.
Hear our voices sing to thee. Hail to thee, Parsippany, now and ever true will be. Every step and every stride, filled with honor, faith, and pride. Red and gray will untarnished ride. Red and gray ever held on high.
Ladies and gentlemen, as president of the student body of Parsippany High School and your master of ceremonies today, I would like to welcome our wonderful faculty and staff at PHS, our district administration, board of education, and our family, friends, and loved ones to celebrate the commencement of the graduating class of 2020. To my fellow classmates, what a year it has been. In the fall, our football team gave us something to look forward to every Friday until November. They brought us excitement and entertainment for us to watch, but they gave us so much more. As a community, it brought us all together. From us seniors to PHS alum, we all united to support our family. But on March 16th, our senior year forever changed. We were no longer able to see each other in person. We were stuck at home, but that didn't change the loving family PHS will always be to us. Congratulations to all my classmates, we did it. At this time, my pleasure to introduce my classmate and friend, president of the class of 2020, Caitlin Crooker.
Good morning, parents, class of 2020, faculty, Dr. Mulrooney, and Dr. Sargent. I have had the pleasure of being the president of the class of 2020 for the past 2 years, and a student and friend with some for the past 13. Although we are not together in person, today is still a special occasion we have all worked for. I want to take the time to reflect on this year's accomplishments, who we are as a class, and how we will be remembered. For the first 3 years of high school, our football team was the underdog. Many students had their doubts. However, for the first time in 30 years, our football team became conference champs. Not only that, but they won back the boot, and they made it all the way to state sectional finals. For years, many people would beat up on the football team. The fan section most nights was lousy at best, and very few would participate in the themes or even leave after halftime. This year, at first, it seemed as if it was just going to be another one of those years. However, our team won the second game of the season, and it didn't stop there. With each win, the energy and excitement of these boys radiated off the field. Their determination and perseverance was inspiring. That same energy fueled the fan section, and all season, for the first time in forever, we were unified as a school. Chants and cheers rang in our ears, and colored powder and confetti filled the skies, and everyone was spirited. Despite all the sarcastic remarks and lack of support over the previous 3 years, this team did not let it define them. I had to ask myself, how did they do it? Personally, I know that facing negativity is not an easy task, and the pressure often shuts me down. Then I remembered that this football team was made up of 23 seniors. As a class, we know what it's like to deal with negative experiences and build our way up. We were born right after 9/11. We had to be strong when our parents were uncertain and scared. Daily life had been altered forever. Heightened security and a sense of distrust became the new norm. Then, when a fellow classmate, a friend, fell ill, we did not turn away. It scared us, but we came together to lift each other's spirits, to fundraise, and to spread love. We had to face the threat of school shootings head-on by standing together, regardless of opinion, to walk out and speak up for our safety. There are many other challenges we face today as well. The question of climate change, evolving technology, divided politics, systemic racism, and currently, COVID-19. This pandemic took away the one thing most important to us, the ability to be together for many lasts and to celebrate moving forward. We were devastated, hurt, angry. Some of us still are, and I'm right there with you. We have every right to feel this way. But however, we cannot let these emotions negatively define our actions. Now, I know I'm not perfect. I've made decisions as a president, as a person, without taking a step back to breathe. Some days, I let my frustrations get the best of me, and I was not the best person I could be. We will all make mistakes. We will all have emotions that get the best of us. But I can only hope that we take a deep breath and continue to build one another up, no matter how negative the experience we're encountering. This class is the strongest class I have ever known. I've seen the way we can be there for one another, and I've seen what our class can do in the face of tragedy. Whether it's working hard at practice to win a football game or taking the time out of lunch to sell bracelets for Noah, we always found a way to lift spirits and to make the best of what we were given. We will always be the class that pushes through the hardship, the class that pushes difference of opinion aside to find the best solution that benefits everybody. I saw this same determination that got us through troubling times in the boys on that football team. It made me realize that everything our class is and stands for was right there on the field. Negative experiences never defined our class. Our positive actions and attitudes did. And I can't wait to see how we define ourselves in the future. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2020.
At this time, please welcome to the podium the salutatorian for the class of 2020, Shiv Patel.
Hello, namaste, and salutations to Mayor Soriano, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Sargent, Dr. Mulrooney and administrators, faculty and staff, parents and families, and students. Welcome to the graduation of the class of 2020. I love graduations. They're a time-honored tradition, and they really tug at my heartstrings. So when I found out that the class of 2019 would have their graduation indoors due to the rain, I couldn't help but think that they must have had the worst luck in the world. Oh dear Lord, was I wrong. Our senior year has not been what we imagined it, to say the least. We entered into this new decade with high hopes and completed college applications, ready to make memories and finally savor the end of senior year, the sweet reward of the hard work of the last 3.5 years. However, in the words of Robert Burns, even the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Making plans is a fundamental skill that we have all learned throughout our high school careers, be it from our directors, club advisors, teachers, coaches, counselors, or parents. Nearly every step of our last 4 years has been carefully planned out and decided upon. And while it is important to be able to set goals and create plans for how to achieve them, another lesson that we've all learned is that these plans don't always work out. From broken printers to bad weather to global pandemics, there are no such things as perfect plans or failure-proof guarantees. In times such as these, we may feel stuck and directionless. All of us, not just my fellow graduates, are entering into a new and uncertain chapter of our lives, one where our plans no longer make sense, while the challenges we face seem bigger and scarier than ever. However, I know that through the example of our brilliant teachers and their continued dedication to our education, our kind and caring administrators who looked after our emotional well-being, and our hard-working staff who kept things running, that I, alongside my fellow graduates, are ready to walk down our diverging paths and overcome obstacles big and small. We are armed with the lessons that we have learned in our classrooms, on the field, and on the stage that have made us ready to think critically and raise our voices, work together, and be our best and most authentic selves. The knowledge and wisdom we've gained, alongside the attitude of hope and optimism set forth by our mentors here at PHS, will light our paths as we navigate our changing climate, as we fight for real justice, and as we rebuild our lives. While there is no crystal ball or deck of cards that can predict what challenges we will have to face or roadblocks we'll have to plan for, I know that nothing will slow us down. Nothing will stop us. But before we go our separate ways, it is both my duty and privilege to welcome you all with a heart heavy yet gleaming with joy and well-earned pride to our virtual graduation ceremony.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce PHS alumni and NASA astronaut Garrett Reisman, who will be providing a very special graduation message to the class of 2020.
Hello, I'm former NASA astronaut Garrett Reisman and proud graduate of Parsippany High School, class of 1986. I just want to say congratulations to all of the class of 2020 at Parsippany High School. I'm very proud of you, and you should be very proud of yourselves. This is a big accomplishment. Now, I know this is not exactly how you expected this to go. I know that the times that we're in right now are unusual and that your graduation and everything associated with it is not going as planned. This is a difficult time. You know, we have a lot of challenges. We have this virus to deal with, and we have plenty of other challenges out there too. Climate change, take your pick. There's no shortage of things that we need help on. But I'm here to tell you that one thing I learned from my time at NASA and my time at SpaceX is that it's really important to have a positive and hopeful vision of the future, and a vision of the world in which you want to live, that you feel good about going out to work every single day and trying to make that a reality. Now, you've got a great set of tools. You've had a tremendous education, the same one I did in Parsippany throughout the whole school system, which is absolutely top-notch. A great set of experiences, I'm sure, throughout your whole high school career. And now you're going to go off, and who knows where that path is going to take you. That path might not even end on the planet Earth. So good luck to you. And I'll tell you, before I sign off, I'm feeling a little out of uniform. Give me just a second here. Hold on. Yep, still fits. Go Red Hawks. Fight on. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I would like to present Miss Susie Golderer of the Parsippany Troy Hills Board of Education.
Hello, my name is Susie Golderer. Good morning, graduates, parents, family, and friends. Dr. Mulrooney, Dr. Sargent, fellow board members. It is my privilege today to give this speech and address the class of 2020. These have been unprecedented times, so we must remember that unexpected things happen that knock us down, and we must learn to get back up, dust ourselves off, and keep on going. This does not mean that I think you should all be okay. Something very important has been taken away from you, a whole half of your senior year. Not seeing friends in the hallway or anywhere. No skipping classes, no getting to class late, no chance of being called down to the principal's office, and worst of all, missing out on lunch period. Seriously, I can't tell you to be okay. I can't tell you not to hurt, not to be angry, not to feel disappointment and a huge sense of loss. Many students hate going to their lockers, but they were asked to go clean them out. They picked up their graduation cords, handed their Chromebooks, all this in 15 minutes. You had 15 minutes to say goodbye to 4 years of your high school career. It's okay to be sad. I feel sad for you, for this end. Unfortunately, the coronavirus had other plans for us. Nothing can change that now, and while there are, I am sure, many others whose lives have been more affected by the virus than yours or mine, make no mistake about it, your loss is legitimate. Class of 2020, you were born in a time when we were still mourning 9/11, but you were also born under a banner of strength and pride. Now, you have lived through this pandemic. This is your time. You have been called to be the game changers and groundbreakers, and what you're experiencing now is shaping you for the challenges ahead. As a class, I believe that you are more empathetic than any other generations. You are more independent, you are hopeful, but realistic. You tend to see the world for what it is. You are kind and giving, you are resourceful and very insightful. You are also human, and as such, you are going to make mistakes. One of the things that many successful people have in common is just that. They make a lot of mistakes. Because if you're making mistakes, then you are trying new things, learning, living, pushing yourself, changing the world. You're doing things you've never done before, and more importantly, you're doing something. Don't freeze, don't stop, don't worry that it isn't good enough or it isn't perfect. Whatever it is, art or love or work or family or life, whatever it is you're scared of doing, do it. Make mistakes. This is how we learn. And though many people go around touting their perfection, it is through mistakes that we learn the most. So remember these couple of points. When you make a mistake, and you will, take full responsibility. Don't blame others. Learn from it and avoid the mistake. No matter what the consequence, be honest. I believe that everything is a picture of who you are, and you draw that picture with your feelings, your thoughts, your words, and your actions. You have control, you have the power, so choose wisely. Do not give your power away. If you want good grades, study, and though no matter how hard, you can achieve. If you want good friends, then learn to be a good friend. If you want people to see the good in you, then learn to see the good in people. If you want respect, then learn to respect. I have known many of you since kindergarten. This class as a whole is very special to me. Also because my own daughter Ellie is one of the awesome seniors graduating today. Class of 2020, know that I love you, I care about you, and no matter what your next step in life is, please never give up. One last final thought to share with you. If you ever find yourself wondering who you are, remember that who you are is what you do when no one is looking. Class of 2020, I wish you the best on behalf of the Board of Education. Congratulations, and enjoy fully the next chapter of your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2020, Christine Yang.
Good morning to our invited guests, administrators, family, and friends. Thank you all for celebrating online with us today, and congratulations to my fellow graduating members of the class of 2020. How many of you guys have pulled an all-nighter before? I asked this question rhetorically, of course, because I can't see any of you right now, and the speech is pre-recorded. But hopefully most of you have, or else the rest of the speech is not going to be relatable at all, because here's what I'd like to say. Facing high school is like facing an all-nighter. Hear me out. You start out thinking you know how the night's gonna go. You probably don't, let's be honest. But you're thinking, it'll be easy, and I can do this. Maybe you're even a little excited. Hey, we've all been there, naive in the first hour of our all-nighter. Freshman year is like 10 p.m. in terms of the all-nighter. You're lying in bed, scrolling through social media, laughing at an obscure TikTok meme. The night is young, your procrastination is in full swing, and you think you know what senioritis feels like as a freshman. Then, sometime sophomore year, your phone runs out of battery, and you're faced with your own reflection in the black screen. You realize you do not look great at this angle with your double chin, and maybe that's a wake-up call for you. Maybe you should at least get out of bed. Then, suddenly you're in the 3 a.m. part of the night. That's junior year. You still have a ton of work left, and you regret everything that has led you to this point in your life. But you keep going, sometimes because you want to, and sometimes because you have to. And then you hear birds. You look out the window, and the sky brightens with a light that turns everything in your room bearing shades of blue. It's senior year already. Already? What even happened senior year? After a whole night awake, everything seems blurry and confusing. As the sun continues to rise, the sky grows warmer. Block scheduling wasn't bad at all, and I finally got to eat lunch. The football team started winning, which was pretty cool to watch, and then the pandemic happened, which was significantly less cool to watch. I also found out I did not know what senioritis was at all 4 years ago. To be honest, we've all been in a kind of weird place lately, wondering if this strange night would ever end. High school seemed to last forever. When the workload was too heavy, when sports and clubs got in the way of academics, when the thought of chugging one more coffee to make it through the darkness felt awful and disgusting. But now, we're finally here. We're tired, yes, but the sun has risen and the day is bright. We all got the work done, one way or another. We made it. You might even look back and miss the stars at night, the rush of adrenaline. We're all off to different places soon, to new adventures with unknown obstacles ahead. Regardless of your plans, though, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Time passes so fast, you might as well go out and do things. Make the world a more interesting place while you learn how to navigate the next night, and the day after that, and so on. Let's laugh a little harder and love with all we've got. That way, when the next sun rises and we're left with the memories and friendships we've made, we can say it was worth staying up for. So, to the class of 2020, to everyone I've met, and even to those I haven't, thank you for these memories. Congratulations on graduating, one more time. We made it through the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please welcome the superintendent of the Parsippany Troy Hills Schools, Dr. Barbara Sargent.
Welcome to our families, our faculty, Board of Education members, and our outstanding students. I am honored to take part in your ceremony today. Typically, I would address students as it is, after all, their day and their ceremony, and they deserve the attention. But I would like to start just by talking to parents first. Parents, it's been quite a 3 months for you, but quite an 18 years and more for you. During these past many years, you've worked so hard to raise these fabulous, fabulous high school seniors. You've cared for them, you've set boundaries for them, you've kept them safe. And I know that these last 3 months have been a lot, and it's really probably, like me, tried your patience, tried your best humor, and yet you've done it. And you've had the luxury of having your children under your constant attention for the past 3 months. I wonder if your house looks like mine. I wonder if you are having to take your own advice a lot. Advice like, this too shall pass, or it won't always be like this. And I'm realizing that it's so much easier to give advice than to take it. That's the hard part. And yet you've done that. You've been really solid and dependable for your families, and you've kept everyone safe. And so for that, knowing what a hard job that is, thank you. Students, at last year's graduation, my speech focused on how do we behave when things don't go our way? Because things don't go our way a lot of times. Although at that point, I was talking more about little disappointments like a job opportunity that doesn't come your way or a promotion that you had been hoping for. I wasn't necessarily thinking of missing out of your last quarter of your school year, missing your prom, missing the chance to say goodbye to teachers that you've admired and loved all these years, missing final exams, maybe not that. But it has been a lot. And so I'm thinking what I want to say to you as you leave our schools is really now part 2 of that. How do you behave when big things don't go your way? How do you prepare yourself for a life that will have many, many joys and disappointments as well? And I'm thinking of the work of author James Clear, who wrote in his book Atomic Habits that routines become your habits, and that your habits really help you to define the goals that you set in life. So if we think of what's been happening this year, I know from speaking with many of you that you talked about how, as difficult as it's been to be at home, you've begun to set little routines for yourself. Many of you get up at about the same time every day, maybe a little later than when school is in session, but about the same time. You do your schoolwork for a certain amount of time, you take a break, maybe you get outside, you check in with some friends, but there's a routine to your day. And I would suggest that that's a really healthy habit, because a routine that's focused on schoolwork and an academic piece with some break time built in really leads into positive study habits that will lead eventually into you being able to meet goals that help you to set a path for yourself that is successful and positive. Many of you talked about, and I know from watching the videos of the tennis team and the softball teams, that working out has continued to be important for you. And so if you're setting a routine of healthy eating, trying to get outside, doing something that's physically active every day, that becomes a really healthy habit that then also helps you to achieve that goal of maintaining an active lifestyle into your 20s and 30s and 40s, which I'm sure seems so very distant to you right now. Think about the routines that you're setting for yourself now, that you will continue to set for yourself as you move beyond high school, because those routines become the habits, and it's those habits that will help you to accomplish the goals that you either know you want to do or the goals that haven't even defined themselves yet for you. And so seniors, graduates, my message to you is that you find routines that will keep you healthy and set you on a path of good health and accomplishments and camaraderie. We will come through this, and we need you to be ready. We absolutely need you to be ready, because better days are ahead. I know you'll do us proud. Congratulations. Be safe, be kind with each other, be well.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present the principal of Parsippany High School, Dr. Dennis Mulrooney.
Good morning and welcome to the 2020 Parsippany High School commencement exercises. I'd like to welcome all our graduates, underclassmen, alumni, parents, friends, family, dogs, and cats, and everyone else watching at home this morning. Welcome in particular to our Board of Education members, Central Office Administration, town officials including Mayor Soriano, our wonderfully talented PHS staff, and our superintendent, Dr. Sargent. Before I begin my comments, I'd like to take a moment to recognize all the parents out there, and in particular, all the parents who will be graduating today as well. If this graduation is your last and you'll be moving on from PHS with your child, please stand up for a moment, even if it's in your living room, and even if it feels super awkward. I'll wait. Okay, this is where we will all be providing thunderous applause for you. Parents, all of you, thank you for all of your years of enthusiasm and support for your children and our school. You have no idea how much supportive parents makes a difference. I say this every year, but I mean it. Par High is a family because of your families. Thank you in addition to our PTA for all of their hard work and generosity, and thank you to Jeff Golder, our PTA president, and to his devoted team of PTA regulars, including all the parents who organized and participated in the Adopt a Senior program for the class of 2020 this spring. That was really well done. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our technical team for putting together this virtual ceremony and for fact-checking me. Thank you to Mr. Nichols, our TV production teacher, and to PHS sophomore Vincent Coppola for all of their hard work. As you're seeing, this virtual ceremony turned out great, and we owe it all to them. I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of our seniors who will be joining the military after graduation, and to thank them for their service to our great country. At this time, will Victoria Dazan, Zach Ellicott, and Vikramjit Singh please stand up? Thank you guys for your service, and good luck, and be safe. Finally, at this time, we're going to have a moment of silence in honor of Julie Stack and Walt Masuriak, two beloved PHS staff members who tragically passed away this school year, and for anyone else that you may have personally lost. Thank you. Unfortunately and sadly, we're celebrating your graduation virtually instead of together and in person. As we all know, COVID-19 has forced us to close schools, employ a distance learning model, engage in social distancing, and essentially change the way we live our lives. Think about it. Before this happened, the word Zoom was a verb that meant to go really fast. And if you went to a meet, it was probably to see Nana Ajuman zoom around a track. Now our days are filled with virtual meetings, connectivity issues, and the awkwardness of having to see your own face at the computer as you speak. We've gone from 100 miles an hour to 3 miles per hour overnight. Sports and concerts and restaurants were replaced with the living room, bedroom, and kitchen. The variety and pacing of our normal days will replaced with an existence that feels, shall I say, repetitive, like we're living the same day over and over again. If you've ever seen the 1993 Bill Murray comedy Groundhog Day, you understand what I mean. In it, Phil Connors, an egotistical weatherman from Pittsburgh, is sent to Puxadowney, Pennsylvania to cover the annual Groundhog event on February 2nd. After finishing the day, he is then inexplicably forced to relive the same day over and over and over and over for approximately 10 years. There are movie nerds out there who calculated how many days it took. At first, Phil has a pretty normal reaction to this dilemma and takes advantage of his consequence-free existence, much like any of us would. He remorselessly eats donuts and pancakes. He uses the knowledge he's gained to meet women. He innocently robs an armored car. You know, the usual. We've all been there. But as hundreds of days go by, Phil devolves into other more desperate emotions as he copes with his endless circumstances. He becomes angry and depressed. He lashes out at others and tries to hurt himself. He gets to a dark, hopeless place and hits rock bottom over and over again. Over time, however, Phil begins to accept his fate and uses this time to better himself, learning to speak French and ice sculpt and to play the piano, and eventually decides to devote himself to helping others every minute of every February 2nd. His reason for living becomes to serve the people of Punxsutawney. Some of the most beautiful parts of this movie are when Phil repeatedly catches a boy falling from a tree, tries desperately to save a homeless man's life, and learns the true selfless meaning of love. Phil ultimately redeems his life when he genuinely puts others before himself, and is then and only then when he breaks the cycle and moves on to February 3rd and the rest of his life. I'm sure we've all felt a little like Phil Connors over the past 3 months, that our daily lives are eerily repetitive and ultimately unchanging, that our purpose and drive have been lost, that social distancing and quarantining is the worst, that this situation is unfair. We can't see our friends or go where we want or play sports or act in a play or attend a school dance or beat the juniors in powder puff football, because you know you would have. We've all tried to fill this void with food and sleep and Lord knows Netflix and other streaming media sources. You may have lost yourself in your cell phone, watching hours of TikTok videos, or slept your days away. Conversely, you may have picked up a new hobby, or got to work on a project around the house, or started jogging, or painting, or interpretive robot dancing, or like many of us, got a puppy. Shout out to my boy Griff back home. I know that so many people in this community and on our staff have taken this opportunity to give back to Parsippany by rallying to support local businesses and families in need. This is a beautiful thing, and we thank you for that. And it's in no way surprising. The bottom line is that we need to find meaning in every situation we're faced with, whether it is tragic, bizarre, inexplicable, cruel, or colossally unfair. External factors will always be at work and will always impact your existence, but you determine to what extent. The world will go on spinning, but you control how you let it impact you. You make of it what you will. When I think about the class of 2020, I think of a group of young people who are prepared to overcome anything that life throws at them. 230 smart, brave, kind, intelligent souls who will stand up to change the world. We were born in the shadow of 9/11 and graduate amidst coronavirus. We were strong and resilient and conscientious. And trust me, our world needs people like you to stand up, get involved, and act for what's right. Everyone needs to do better. I know you will, and I promise that we will at PHS too. Think about what you've done during your senior year alone. Rally the school and community through a historic football championship season, survived the first year of block scheduling at PHS, achieved academic excellence as subsequent admission at some of the finest schools in America, sprinted to conference, county, and state championships in track and field and cross country, entertained the school through concerts, plays, and performances, served the community through a massive food packing event, service nights, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich making drive, leadership retreats, Halloween at the High, a pillow making night, and countless other fundraisers. You've connected and endeared yourself to PHS staff through your personality, sense of humor, leadership, and heart. You've spoken out publicly against racial injustice and cruelty. Your loyalty honored a friend and classmate by voting him homecoming king last fall, one of my all-time favorite memories at Par High. Oh, you've also taken part in a worldwide battle against a global pandemic. I'd say you've put together a pretty good resume for success in the real world. For the obvious reasons, I will never forget you or this year, but for the not-so-obvious reasons, I will always hold you close to my heart. Whether it was making sure Katie Quinn didn't get lost in Princeton, or watching Ryan Crooker on the stage, or rejecting Caitlin Phillips' daily suggestion for a senior prank, or watching Justin Wellman make 8 million saves in hockey, or hanging out with Brett Leach at practically every single service night, or seeing the magic of Anish Kakurde and the robotics team, or beating Kyle for Farrell in fantasy football, or listening to Jake Katapurath bang on his drum on a 20-degree night, surrounded by crazy seniors dressed in Christmas outfits. You've all been an absolute pleasure to spend every day with. This is also the year I get to watch my own godson graduate from high school, with the knowledge that yes, Jared Herda, I can still beat you up. Know that as you're sitting there in your living room. Class of 2020, while there's so many things you did not get to do, I hope that everything else you get to do the rest of your life is that much more special as a result. I hope you appreciate every opportunity, every game, every concert, every movie, every handshake and hug and slow dance. I hope waiting in a long line becomes less tedious, and that rushing from event to event isn't such a chore. I hope that someday, when you're grown and settled and with a family and career of your own, that you look back on these days and understand the sacrifices that you made for others. And I hope that this understanding helps you to appreciate the world in which you live and the unique bond you'll always share with your classmates, and that it motivates you to keep making the world a better place. Every day is a gift. Never forget it. Class of 2020, you guys are the absolute best. I love you all, and I miss you all so much. Please don't be strangers. You're always welcome at Par High. You know that. Good luck, stay safe, and Godspeed. Love you. Thanks.
Please welcome Parsippany High School Choir under the direction of Miss Christine Wilson, who will now perform the song Gone, Gone, Gone by Philip Phillips as a special tribute to the seniors.
Shut down the city lights on my street while begging God to make you well, to make you well.
When enemies around you don't carry you away from love, if you need love. Your heart dangling by a string, you're sharing your suffering to make you well, to make you well.
Give me reasons to believe that you would do the same for me, and I would do it for you. Maybe I'm not moving on, I'll run long after you're gone. For you, you will never sleep alone. I'll run long after you're gone, and long after you're fall like a statue upon me. Catch you on your feet, you on your feet. And if your well is empty, nothing will prevent me. Tell me what you need, what do you need? I surrender honestly. You've always done the same for me. So I would do it for you, for you. Baby, I'm not moving on, not working long after you're gone. For you. You will never sleep alone, not working long after you go. And long after you're gone, gone, gone. Like a drum, baby, don't stop beating. Like a drum, baby, don't stop beating. Like a drum, baby, don't stop beating. Like a drum, my heart never stops beating for you, for you. Baby, I'm not moving on, I'm looking long after you're gone. For you. We will never sleep alone, I'm looking long after you go. Like a drum, baby, don't stop beating. Like a drum, baby, don't stop beating. Like a drum, baby, don't stop beating. Like a drum, my heart never stops beating for you. And long after you're gone, gone, gone.
At this time, I would like to again introduce our principal, Dr. Dennis Mulrooney.
As a testament to the camaraderie and friendship that has grown between our family of graduating seniors over the span of their education in Parsippany, 4 of our students will now read the roll of graduate names. The first group of students will be read by Student Council Executive President Sydney Reich.
Chelsea Asi Abwaji, Nana Ajimon, Christopher Alexandric, Kenjiro Andrada, Randall Aruz, Rohan Arun, Jacqueline Azero, Dawson Bacau, Mario Barrera, Taylor Becker, Anijah Bermudez, Kyle R. Bifano, Alexandra Elizabeth Bond, Lukman Buzaytun, Yusuf Buzaytun, Bethany Broddick, Ashley Marie Brown, Haley Marie Brown, Nicholas Bruno, Davin Oliver Budich, Alexis Raquel Cajas, Catherine Castano VR, Jose Castellano, Dominic Attilio Catani, Alexandra Cerciello, Lourdes Chacon, Eric Chow, Sophia Chaz, Melanie Chimborazo, Akshay Chothani, Mira Chothani, Sabrina Melody Chow, Vincent Colantoni, Anthony Colaswano, Timothy Coppinger, Caitlin Crooker, Ryan Crooker, Lathan Sucro, Elijah Xavier Bernard Darby, Andrew DeVanzo, Sabrine DeWood, Dominic Anthony D'Antenis, Matthew DiCrescenzo, Annabellen Delgado, Sophia Rose Delabovi, Stacy Dariston, Shivani Desai, Rylan Michael DeSalvo, Erica Lynn DeSanguin, Sean Dewar, Connor F. Devins, Xavier Julian Diaz, Jordan Monet Julia Dorsey, Oliver Dowling, Nancy Duong, Victoria Dizon, Michelle Renee Ebel, Zachary Ellicott, Ahmed Elsed, Mara Noel Estricht, Daniela Grace Falcone, Nina Falavine, Caitlin Marie Fang, John Tyler Fania, Miriam Farug, Sherry Nicole Finchler, Victoria Ferrer, Kyle Joseph Fafero, Alyssa Gallagher, Siraj Gura, Gabriella Gennarelli, Tabitha Lynn Gessling, Caitlin Rose Glodzik, Ellie Ann Golderer, Brittany Gomez Clavijo, Matthew Harrison Gonzalez, Jillian Govius, Devin Granda, Angelo Grippo, Daniel Guzman, Danielle Renee Heisler, Alex Yujun Howe, Ali Hassan, Evan He, Stephanie Rose Hill, Hannah Paige Holer, Mariam Husseini, Jared Herda, Shauna Ignax, Tony Illick, Ariana Neelam Jamna, Joey Jankovic, Olivia Ava Johnson, Smeet Joshi, Michaela Elizabeth Cadian, Anish Kakirde, Jake Kataparoth, Christopher Kiefer, Neil Kare, Krista Kiwior, Joshua Knoll, Bonjean Koo, Aaron Kreitman, Yash Kerplani, Daniel Guo, Imani Croy Labadie, Anthony Lepresti, Marjorie Leal Barahona, Brett Leach, Ian Lenahan, Carolina Leone, Kyle Lepore, Jordana Lynn Levine, Kevin Lee, Fernando Lopez Ramirez,
Noah Larankovitz, Daniel Lupo, Joseph Lynch, Tanisha Lyons, Achif Mahmoodi, Ashika Reddy Malgari, Yusuf Mamour, Ricky Marlowe, Shazod Masharabi, Yasmin Masad, Ronnie Modi, Saif Muhammad, Faith Marie Mastillo, Nalani Raylene Navarro, Emma Navarro, Ria Naini, Abhinav Naini, Joshua Nelson, Anthony Scott Newman, Maya Noche, Michelle T. Nugent, Gia Lynn Nee, Dominique Ober, Ryan Michael Olcott, Edward Orellana, Pamela Marie Paguntalan, Michael Antonio Pantaleo, Anuj S. Patel, Aryan Patel, Dev Patel, Hanil Patel, Janki Patel, Jay Patel, Prathi K. Patel, Riddhi Patel, Riddle Patel, Sahaj Patel, Sahaj M. Patel, Shiv D. Patel, Shiv A. Patel, Shyam Patel, Vidhi Patel, Yash Patel, Zil Patel, Katricia Serena Penos, Caitlin Phillips, Alex Picanich, Eric Polo, Radhika Rani Prathan, Shubha Prasad, Jason Israel Punskowski, Krishant S. Putravu, Catherine Quinn, Joshua Quizon, Ashley Radler, Cheyenne Ramatula, Christopher Thomas Renero, David Ramirez,
Wendy Ramirez Sandoval, Kimberly Ramos, Emily Radicasa, Zachariah Rahman, Sydney Renee Reich, Adrian Reyes, Isabel Reyes, Alex Reinhard, Joseph Riedinger, Anthony Brillo, Nadia Sofia Rodriguez, Muhammad Sadiq, Abby Sanchez, Nicholas Robert Santangelo, Amog Sarangadar, Saeed Sarkat, Ria Sawant, Jared Schwed, Kevin Sedefoglu, Anish Shah, Anjali Shah, Harry Shankar, Farah Shira, Karen Shi, Anna Singh, Vikram Singh, Julia Marcia Sklo, Sarah Smith, Matthew C. Sanzoni, Matthew Strano, Joseph Stull, Sinjana Shore, Lena Sermelli, Eka Swami, Kenneth C., Toby Sejun Tan, Tyler Thiel, Michaela Nicole Tomanelli, Dylan Tran, Hannah Florence Teresi, Aniela Joanna Vanez, Jonathan Vargas, Nicholas Owen Vega Fitzpatrick, Liliana Marie Vidal, Julia Marie Vincent, Abbas Mohammed Wafa, Nathaniel Walker, Sarah Walsh, Marcus C. Wan, Jenna Teresa Ware, Hannah Weber, Jake Weiss, Justin Wellman, Tyler Wyka, Christine Yang, Nazira Yildirim, Lawrence Yu, Thomas Samuel Zaro, Estefany Zuniga.
At this time, I would like to again introduce our principal, Dr. Dennis Mulrooney.
Before we present our graduating class, we would like to take this opportunity to recognize a retiring staff member. Jan DeMarco was a beloved nurse, colleague, and friend to the students and staff at Par High, and she retired in January of this school year. We'd like to present her with an honorary diploma for her years of friendship and service. We'd also like to present PHS diplomas to the families of the 2 PHS staff members who we lost this school year, to honor their time as Red Hawks and the indelible impact that they made on all the people at Parsippany High School. Thank you to Julie and Walt. We love you and miss you. By the authority vested in me by the state of New Jersey, I hereby certify that all of the members of the Parsippany High School class of 2020 assembled here this morning have met all of the requirements specified by the state of New Jersey and the Parsippany Troy Hills Board of Education, and are therefore eligible to be awarded diplomas as graduates of Parsippany High School. Members of the Board of Education, I present to you the class of 2020.
Show me how to love, maybe I'm going through a drought. some loud bragger tries to put me down and says this school is great, I tell him right away, now what's the matter, buddy? Ain't you heard of my school? It's #1 in the state.